Are you sick and tired of gambling your hard-earned money on Madden and 2K packs? Well, look no further than my sponsor, MMOEXP, for the cheapest and most reliable Madden and 2K coins on the market. And of course, do not forget to use code Ferdy for 5% off. A link for their website is at the top of the description. What's going on, guys? Today we have the continuation of a series that I don't think I've made since like the first week of Madden 23. But that is, of course, the best team a year ago today in Madden 22 compared to the best team today here in Madden 23. And of course, as always, drop a comment down below. Which team are you taking down below, the Madden 22 team or the Madden 23 team? Okay, so let's get started at quarterback. In both games, I am going to give you two quarterback options that I really like depending on play style. I think Leon Sandcastle can fit any play style, but still more of a mobile guy. Has Slinger 3 a really good release this year. Good abilities, you know about Leon Sandcastle. The other option here for Madden 22 or 23, sorry, is of course Tribute Tom Brady. And if we head over to Madden 22, it is also Tribute Tom Brady. Or still at this point, QB1 debatably was still Derrick Henry, which was crazy. I do believe at about this time they did nerf Escape Artist. I don't remember when they did it, but I know that Escape Artist was nerfed at some point just because they, rose the AP on it and stuff like that. So it was nerfed a little bit, but still, Derrick Henry was still going crazy with Slinger 1. So yeah, Tribute Tom Brady in both games, or Leon Sandcastle, Derrick Henry, two kind of out of position quarterbacks. Okay, so now we have the running backs, and here in Madden 23, I am going to go with Chris Johnson. Again, there's a bunch of different options here depending on your play style. Even Sandcastle's in the conversation. Jamal Charles could be there. Fournette plays great. Bo Jackson plays great. And again, there's a lot of variety in this game too. I mean, you got Derrick Henry, Falele. There's a lot of options that are considered top tier at the running back position right now, in my opinion. So really, you could say any of the guys, but if I had to pick one, the one that's played the best for me has been Chris Johnson, CJ2K. And also for the fullbacks too, I'm going to go with Joe Perry. This guy's basically a running back, but of course has, good run block, good lead block, good impact block, things like that. So yeah, Joe Perry, best fullback, although there's like Mike Allstott in the game, guys like that who are good here in Madden 23. And for Madden 22, at running back, this one to me wasn't really close. Right when I saw this card, I just had instant flashbacks of how good he was. And dude, this Micah Parsons card, this backyard baller Micah Parsons was actually insane. And by the way, if you do see, the date past today's date, for the backyard baller promo, I did kind of let it finish, even though some of the cards came out maybe a week from now. I still put them in this video. But Micah Parsons was obviously out at this time last year, and he was the best running back in the game. This card was just insane. And for a fullback, there's Mike Allstott, who was pretty ridiculous. And there was also Trent Williams, who's an example of a card that came out, I think it was exactly a week ago, a year ago today, a week, I don't know. You know what I meant, a week ago from a year. I don't know how to say it, but this card was obviously crazy at 6'5", 320 pounds, with some pretty decent speed and good blocking stats, obviously, with him being an offensive lineman turned to a fullback. Okay, so now we have our wide receivers, and it feels like every day my wide receivers, my top three just changes the more I look at these cards, but that just goes to show you how many different top tier options there are right now in the game. Christian Watson, Julio Jones, even Keenan Allen. Do keep in mind, I do kind of, think about these cards not on a theme team when it comes to making either the best at each position videos or videos like this. So there's a bunch of options. Garrett Wilson, Justin Jefferson, even with Team of the Year coming out literally tomorrow, it could change a lot of different things. But to me, my top three wide receivers currently in Madden 23, Carmichael has to be in here, even though to me, Carmichael has been playing as well as he was when he first came out for whatever reason, just because I think there's so many more free KOs and things like that. So like deep out zone KOs in general just kind of kill Ags. Obviously, it's so consistent, so good, but that's just kind of how the game plays. But obviously, having a 6'8" receiver that can do what this man can do, I think definitely puts him into the top three. Next up, Christian Watson, again with that strat card, 98 speed with 98 acceleration, crazy receiving stats, obviously pass catching, route running, things like that. Even as a ball carrier, he's half decent, but 6'4", slot archetype, and of course does get good abilities. And again, he's a slot archetype, so does get already cheap, 1 AP short in, and good route tag, deep out elite, things like that are really nice. And finally, this one's gonna be a little controversial. I've done my research on this card, but Adam Thielen has to be in the top three. I think he just has to be. As a slot receiver, he is simply the best right now in the game. I think it's not, it might be close, but I think it's Thielen. Based off how his stocking stuffer card played, this card is just insane with the speed, The route running is just crazy. 6'2", and these abilities are just crazy. 0 AP slot O with deep in, deep out, outside apprentice, short in, even able to get, you know, a third ability slot. So to me, Adam Thielen is the best slot guy in the game. Although Julio Jones is close, he's very close, I still got to give it to Adam Thielen. And his price tag for an LTD without training varieties is honestly pretty cheap. It makes me kind of think that people are overlooking this card severely. He's 6'2". This card is being overlooked. But head over to Madden 22. Of course, we had the Super Bowl MVP Cooper Kupp, who was the best receiver in the game for a while. These abilities were just crazy. He got these crazy buckets. They were golden ticket-like. So, yeah, Cooper Kupp was definitely the best wide receiver in the game. We also had Jamar Chase's honors card that came out. There was also some Team of the Year cards that were good, like Debo and Justin Jefferson, guys like that. Even the Trayvon Diggs out of position receiver card from Backyard Ballers was really nice. There was Ricky Williams. There were options in the game. And then finally, we have MCS Colin Johnson, who has to be on here, man. I mean, 96 speed at 6'6", you know, with crazy route running, crazy pass catching, good as a ball carrier, even a good impact block, and even had some pretty, you know, decent ability buckets as well. So Colin Johnson, Jamar Chase, and Cooper Kupp were my top 3 for Madden 22. Okay, so real quick, let's talk tight ends. Right now in 23, there's a crazy variety at tight end. There's a bunch of guys you can definitely debate for this spot, but to me, it is Gronk. Gronk is insane, even for theme teams. Like 2x chems is crazy, but also he's just 6'6", almost 270, and runs routes like a top tier slot receiver, wide receiver, gets decent ability buckets, and the size on this card is just crazy. And finally, for Madden 22, it's still Team of the Year Darren Waller. I mean, there was, like, this is obviously going to be like the best of the best guys, but there were some pretty crazy cards. There were some pretty crazy ones, like out of position. Like, I remember the Kelsey card played well. I'm not going to really look for them because it'll take me a while, but Darren Waller was definitely still great at 6'6" with 94 speed. Of course, there was power-ups in this game too, so technically 95 speed. Keep that in mind. We're looking at these cards as well, that there were power-ups for a bunch of these guys, so definitely do be thinking about that. But yeah, Darren Waller, his cards are always crazy. Okay, so now we are over to defense, and instead of me going through each card individually here, I'm just going to show you guys my lineup. Then we're going to quickly go through the Madden 22 cards. Unfortunately, I can't build a lineup builder like I would for 23 or for 22 because it's just not possible anymore. I wish I could, but I'm just going to show you guys this defense here. We, of course, have Leon Sandcastle, Tariq Woolen, Trayvon Walker, Jalen Smith, Junior Seau, Bruce Irvin, Kirby Joseph, Budda Baker might be a little bit small, but does get, good stats and good KOs. This card can definitely play very well. His price is a little bit down because he's 5'10", things like that, but good run support, good KOs. I mean, this card honestly is pretty overlooked in my opinion. We have Darius Slay, his 99 overall, going for about 3 million, but crazy speed, good size, good abilities. The abilities, are crazy on this card, as you guys can see right there. We, of course, also have Xavier Rhodes, who I love, with 97 speed, 6'1", can hit, can play zone, and of course does get universal coverage, free zone hawk, and really good abilities too. And then up front we have Nick Bosa, Darnell Dockett. This DeMarcus Lawrence card is crazy. This card right here is actually insane. Free strip specialist, free run stopper, edge threat, elite 1 AP. This card is crazy. 3 of 3 trades. He's insane. So yeah, here is the Madden 23 defense. Okay, so getting started off here on defense in Madden 22, we have Max Crosby. And one thing to kind of think about in this year's game, Madden 22, was that there wasn't any EA determined player-specific abilities in this game. It just came down to what archetype they were and how cheap what abilities were at the time and what the AP cap was. I don't remember what it was at this time, but it could have been like 18 AP on offense and defense. It could have been something like that. I don't remember what it was at this time last year, but you kind of can see how cheap abilities are. Like 1 AP Enforcer, like that's not happening normally on a card. So EA would kind of move around the abilities and how much they were worth as the year went on. But this card was crazy. 3 of 3 traits, great speed. On the other side, we have Elroy. Elroy was built like a wide receiver, and you wouldn't think this man would be as good as he was because he was really light and also had low strength. But this man just zipped around. He was crazy. Could tackle well. Even could play a little bit of his own if I do remember correctly. But Elroy was crazy, man. I love this card. He played amazing. And honestly, I was a big fan of a ton of the first drop Ultimate Legends in Madden 22. They were amazing. And the next man up is another example of that. That's Mean Joe Green. Obviously, his cards are always amazing with 90 speed, both traits. Both thresholds with 2 of 3 traits. And for our other defensive tackle, we have Vince Wilfork from the Combine. Of course, he has to be on here. Big Vince was pretty nice. At outside linebacker, we have, of course, Micah Parsons. This card was so expensive for so long, and obviously the price section isn't a thing anymore because this game doesn't really exist. But he was very expensive for a long time, and it was for good reason. I mean, the speed was crazy. His card played crazy. They always did last year. So yeah, here's Micah Parsons. Next up, we have the Team Diamond, champion, and that's Luke Kuechly. He was definitely the best middle linebacker, all 32 team chems, things like that. Again, very expensive. He was kind of like an Elway. We haven't seen, I guess, are they considering Keenan Allen? No, they're not. I guess, no, Keenan Allen's not like this card at all because, no, he's not at all. So we're still waiting for our Madden 23 version of this card. He hopefully is crazy for Team Diamonds too. But it was Luke Kuechly in Madden 22. He was obviously pretty solid. Next up, this one might be a little bit controversial. If you played Madden 22, there was a debate between DeMarcus Ware and this Barry Sanders card. But this Barry card, the way that he got off an edge was just crazy. And yeah, light players like this, you wouldn't think would play well, but in last year's game, they actually played really well as pass rushers, Elroy, and now we have, of course, Barry. Barry had 97 zone with good pursuit. Not the best tackler, but as far as him getting off an edge with, I think he also got edge threat. He had 1 AP edge threat. So yeah, some of these cards did get discounted, kind of pre-baked abilities, but obviously that was very rare. And this really did set the Backyard Ballers cards apart because they had discounted abilities and they were obviously very, very unique. Next up, we have Charles Woodson at cornerback. Charles Woodson came out that next weekend, but I feel like he had to be on here. Or I guess it was this weekend coming up, but I feel like he had to be on here at 6'1". With 96 speed, can play man, can play zone. And of course, we also had Randy Moss, who didn't come out for another week, but he had to be on here with 97 speed, great acceleration, man, zone, tackling, 6'4" at corner was pretty rare in this game at this point of the year. So yeah, Randy Moss was obviously up there. And then of course, we have 6' Stephon Diggs with the 96 speed and the acceleration to match, man, zone, and abilities. Again, he did get, Acrobat was nice. I think you actually had to run bench press on him. I'm pretty sure it was pre-baked. I think these abilities were pre-baked on these cards. I don't remember, but I feel like being upset you couldn't take off bench press or something like that. I couldn't really remember how it worked, but I know this card played well because he had 1 AP acro. And for safety, we have Julio. Again, came out the same day as Randy Moss, but 96 speed at 6'3", obviously pretty nice with good man, good zone, good tackling. And for his abilities, he also got acro and deep out zone KO. And for strong safety, it was actually still Isaiah Simmons, or it could have been Jimmy Graham as well, depending on your preference. But one 6'4", one 6'7", one could be your user or sub linebacker, and one can play over the top. These guys are both pretty crazy, but honestly, out of position, Jimmy Graham at 6'7", yeah. Like an updated version of the Christmas cards. If we got this year, an upgraded version of Ted Hendricks, upgraded version of Julius Peppers, it would be mayhem. I really hope that EA doesn't do it again. I liked out of position for a little bit last year, but I don't want to make this year another out of position year again. I don't want to do it again. We had enough, safeties, tight ends that played safety, or things, edge rushers that played. We had enough of that. So hopefully, it was cool for Madden 22, but hopefully it kind of stays there. Hopefully it does, but again, I wouldn't be surprised if we start seeing, maybe for golden tickets we start seeing it again. But yeah, that's gonna do it for today's video. Drop a comment down below. Which team are you taking, man? The Madden 23 team or the Madden 22 team? Let me know, man. Let me know. So yeah, as always, I will see you boys in the next one.